Part 5, still day 1 of Pepsi. All right, this is the only time that we let Pepsi get to a point where she would actually react during her 3 days. I wanted to see if there was a level or a line that Pepsi could get to and understand a dog is not interested in interacting. But it turns out she doesn't understand that. She didn't. But that's why we've been calling her off every time. So let's slow this down though, because there's a couple reasons. One, she goes in really, really pushy. Maggie doesn't back down. Maggie's a lot like the dog that she's gotten in fights at home with. Tension is clearly building. Pepsi's trying to put her head above Maggie's head. Maggie's not giving space, but the second she does, Pepsi moves in. She takes advantage of that little step back that Maggie gives, and she uses that leash pressure. It creates frustration, and it just sends her forward. So there's a lot of different areas we have to work here. One, she has to understand that when a dog says no, they mean no, and to just back off. The problem here, though, is that when she moves in super, super pushy, it makes the other dog tense. Then Pepsi's like, why are you tense? Are we fighting? What's going on? And then boom, it's a fight. So we practice recalling Pepsi off of Maggie whenever Maggie looks like she is uncomfortable. One good thing, though, that I notice, and I have to credit, obviously, Amina, her foster mom, for this, is Pepsi is able to be neutral with another dog. So she's not still locked onto Maggie, not until Maggie got closer. So right here, when Maggie turns around, I want Pepsi to take that as a sign to give space. She isn't, so we have to support her in that. Once again, the secondary problem is she doesn't understand leash pressure, and she gets frustrated when given a boundary of the leash. So we have to just keep drilling that. This time went way better, way better. She didn't need as much support. She just walked away with a tiny bit of leash pressure. So to summarize, by this point, I have 2 main areas that I know need work. 1, she needs to read the cues of other dogs. 2, she needs to understand pressure as support, leash pressure as support, e-collar pressure as support, vocal pressure, if I'm giving her a cue, as something that is informational, not something holding her back. Instead of teaching Pepsi not to be pushy when starting an interaction with another dog, that would be great. But what matters to me more is that she can read another dog when they tell her, hey, you're being too much. Some dogs are going to like her being pushy, and I want her to know the difference. The other part of it, though, is if she gets stuck and she doesn't know when a dog is uncomfortable, she needs to trust us when we're giving direction and not fight against that boundary. And I know I said I was going to go in chronological order, but just to show you, this is day 3. Pepsi and Maggie eventually do much better. Still tense play, but they figure it out. So part 6 coming right up.